Have you ever wondered how we make decisions and why we seem to make so many errors in judgment without even noticing? Most of the time, we meet problems that require us to make quick decisions. While making these decisions, we're susceptible to all sorts of error. Our brain uses different techniques to make quick decisions, but let's start with a technique called heuristics. Heuristics are methods that can be used to speed up the process of finding a satisfactory solution, or are simply mental shortcuts that ease the cognitive load of making a decision. There are several types of heuristics, but we'll focus on two: availability and representativeness. Let's explain both by giving some examples. Now think about 5 words that have this form. Okay, think about 5 words that have that form. More words come to mind, right? But does that mean that there are more words ending with ing than with n alone? Of course not. All words that end with ing are in the n forms group, hanging out with other words that have a different composition but share the n's same position. So of course there are more words ending with the n alone, but your mind tricked you. The availability heuristic led you to fall for the effective search set bias. There are more words that are readily available in your memory with the ing than with the n alone, making it the more effective search set. This bias led you to another error caused by heuristics called the conjunction fallacy, which we will explain in the next example, but in terms of representativeness. So this is Koji. Hi! She's a florist, she loves colors, and enjoys music. Which is more likely? A. Koji plays rock music. B. Koji is also a painter and plays rock music. Studies have shown that most people will think of B as more likely. Why? Because being a painter to most people seems more representative of Koji than playing rock music. But does this mean that option B is really more likely? This is another conjunction fallacy. Since being a painter seems more representative of Koji, we're willing to accept the less representative option only in conjunction with the more representative one and actually think of it as more probable. However, probability A and B can never be greater than the probability of its individual constituents, probability A alone or probability B. If we think about it logically and extensionally, Koji is a painter is included in the extension of the option A, meaning that she can play rock music and be a painter or be an engineer or anything, while option B is only true if both events are true, which makes it less probable. But we made our decision intuitively rather than extensionally. This brings us back to our main question. How do we make decisions and why do we seem to make so many errors in judgment? Our brain has a dual thinking system, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is automatic, quick, intuitive, associative, and usually charged with emotions and past experiences. System 2 is slower, takes more effort, and is more likely to be monitored by consciousness. System 1 jumps into conclusions without rationalizing them, and it might win over System 2 and finalize its conclusion without filtering it. To better understand how these two systems work, let's have a look at these two scenarios by which we make decisions. Scenario A: no intuitive response comes to mind, and so the judgment is entirely computed by System 2. Scenario B: an intuitive judgment is made by System 1 and is approved by System 2 where intuition matches the logic, adjusted for relevancy to the problem by System 1 and 2, corrected from a bias or overcorrected to a bias by either systems, identified as violating a subjectively valid rule, and blocked from expression. Not only do heuristics and internal biases affect our decisions, but the way we're introduced to problems also has a huge influence on our decisions. Some problems can be described in a way that gives rise to certain solutions over others, which is called framing. It's a subtle but distinct difference in cognitive categorization that causes us to tend to favor a certain decision over another. For example, in media people react differently to the same story based on the point of view in which it was presented. HIV is presented negatively in the media, so people look down on people who have it, while other diseases, which are presented neutrally, like tuberculosis, gain sympathy and are not looked at in a demeaning way.
Created using Powtoon.